All right, the time has come. The time to rebuild the dirt bike. Little surprise. I'm going to be wearing a new and improved item. It's very awesome. What can I say? I don't know if I'll be using the old clip or the new clip, but either way, it'll be very cool, very nice. You guys will all probably be very jealous of it. But yeah, let's get into the video and rebuild the dirt bike instead. All right, well, now that you've seen all of, that you need to see, let's carry on with the video, start rebuilding things. Yep. I'm doing that. All right, so unfortunately for you guys, everything's pretty much already torn apart besides the bottom end. First step, obviously, is to take the engine out of, the frame. I think that this already was out of the bike. Oh, that's it. All right, hold on. All right, so that, my friends, is an engine. Probably to lay down some paper towels so that when I take parts off, I can put them back onto a fairly clean surface. All right, a good start would be to disassemble all of this nonsense. Take these bad Larrys out, and we're gonna put them over here. Take the rod out. There should be a ball in there. Yep, there's a ball in this one, so be careful for that one. This is where it gets kind of tricky, is undoing that bolt, that nut. All right, well, that was short-lived because I don't have a 30mm to take this nut off. Wrench does not fit in there, and it's also like 12 o'clock in the morning, so unfortunately, this will now have to wait till another day. Well, it's been about 4 days. Oops. But I forgot a 30mm socket. I apparently lost it because it wasn't in the tactical vest. That's probably what the problem was. But now I got one off Amazon, so now we can continue. Clutch basket holder tool thing. Doesn't have to be that tight. We're going to lock it in there. If you also look, we have our clutch push rod. Informational purposes only. We have 2 giant-ass washers, apparently. Take this collar off as well. Oh shit, we're chilling the grilling. Quite realized that I was just gonna pop out like that, but I'll take it. I should have loosened this before. I should have known. Rookie mistake. So what's gonna happen here, if you take a look at everything, is that when we loosen this nut this way, the whole cog is gonna want to go that way. And by inserting this lovely tool here, next up is loosening that nut. Figured it out. Manual states not to use the clutch on there. So what I'm going to do is it says to apply a aluminum plate in between the balancer and everything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a penny in there. Hope that it's soft enough. Maybe 2 pennies if I can do that. Because I don't got that tiny little aluminum plate. So what I'll also do is shove some rags in here to kind of lighten the blow if they give way. I have had give some cushion for the rod smashing against the cylinder head surface. Impact and hope for the best. Turns out the pennies came out unscathed. Focus, idiot. No mark on them. So that's perfect because now I can bring everything else out. Put my spare change for the homeless guy over there. There we go. Thank you to the tactical vest. I am able to have some Allen keys ready to go. Nope, it's a 4. I knew that first try. I was not second guessing myself whatsoever. It does kind of bind up. So I wonder if that's why my thing failed. Alright, well, looks like we were okay on the oil pump. I just took that apart. It's pretty easy to take apart. It's just that one screw on top right there, that one Phillips head screw. Take it apart, and it's actually just a gear pump. So it's really about it. I just kind of cleaned it off, and then that stiffness kind of stopped. So looks like we're good there. Oil pump's good. I'm definitely still finding a bunch of copper shavings everywhere. All probably from that bearing for the connecting rod. That, my friends, is coming out right now. Get out of my engine right now. I just hate these little spring-loaded things. They suck. Those little springs in there. Right at the top of my thumb, that little rectangular pieces. Right there. Those are all spring-loaded, so just be careful. That thing was in there for sure. Probably Loctite on that. Alright, we can take that off. Take the cam chain out. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is probably just put everything back on. Alright, so in theory, we should be good to undo the rest of the case bolts and now split the cases, which everyone is usually afraid of. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to see what the screen looks like. I'm intrigued. Holy shit. Oh my god. Did you see that? What happened in there, dude? That is not ideal. Not to mention what's still on the screen. Yeesh. That's lovely. I love to see that. Time to grab the splitter. So this was a little odd. This is a little different than what I'm used to, but I put on the case splitter, and then for shits and giggles, I rotated this by hand, and the case actually split. So, I don't quite understand how that happens, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, kind of a deal. See, I don't quite understand that, but I mean, I'll take it, I guess, because now we can assess the damage internally. It just seems very odd. I have also taken off the tactical vest temporarily because I didn't want to get oil all over it. Let's clear the table a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Oh boy. Right, so, bruh, are you fucking kidding me? The one thing that I couldn't drop. Spinning, good to see. Will this just come out for some reason? Engine is made of engine. Let's take the transmission out of service. First things first, we're gonna get rid of the shift forks a little bit. Take out the shift drum. Looks like there's a spring inside the shift drum. I would like to take it all out as an assembly, so I'm gonna try to do that. Get a good look at that, Bad Larry. It should actually just come out, so. A little persuasion. Got the whole thing getting replaced anyway, so. And that, my friends, is a crank out of a YZ250F from 2021. Alright, we can just throw that now. And now what we can do is work on making sure all these bearings are okay, because I didn't replace them. It's a little crunchy. Alright, this is probably the moment where there's a lot of stuff going on here. I don't know if you can see any of this. Look in there. Look at that. Go this way. Yeah, It's a lot of metal shavings in there. Look at all those shavings, dude. They're all in there. So, I guess now, now's the part where we just get high. Just rinse it out, I guess. Get high as frick, zero ventilation. Start wiping. Alright, well, clean this up a little bit. I still need to Scotch Brite the surface of this so I can put a gasket on it later with the Honda Bond or Yama Bond, whatever. But in this side of the case, the left side of my case, my transmission bearing bolts, or not bolts, transmission bearings are a little stiffy. So I'm going to try to get new ones of those. The only thing is I don't know if anyone will have them in stock. So I'm going to have to order them, which is going to suck because then this is going to sit for another week or so. I'll have to get back on that and then go from there. So, I will be back eventually. Alright, well, we are back after about a week, maybe more. I finally got the bearings for the transmission, and you would never guess how much each one was. Just this one, guess how much just that one bearing was. $70, okay? That's a little much for me. I'm not gonna lie, okay? It's a little ridiculous. Now the one next to it, guess how much that one was? $26, okay? That's also crazy. That's it, it's just a freaking bearing. That's all it is. Couple balls, a little bit of aluminum, maybe steel. I don't even know what it is, okay? And you know what? Okay, well, next up is taking out said bearings. So, all right, well, I'm losing all my tools apparently, so this is what we're going with. Bearing retainers. Oh, there we go. First try. It would have been nice to realize, but I'm a little special. So we're gonna clean that up and put it aside. All right, well, technically you could beat that one out from the other side with a socket, but I am going to use a bearing puller because I don't want a chance ruining the race of it and then screwing myself. For right now, I'm gonna throw this on the floor. If you were wondering if this is overkill, don't worry, it is, but it's all right. All right, first try. Look at that, we're awesome. Nice. Crank bearings. Crank bearing, we don't like it no more. Screw that thing. Garbage. Other crank bearing. First try. Garbage. All right, time to clean and reassemble. I'm skipping the cleaning part though. All right, well, I thought that I was going to be able to heat it up with the torch, but I guess not. So we're just gonna whack this shit in, I guess. This one's tough. Time for the tranny bearings, but I'm also noticing that this is also pretty tough to spin as well, so I think the other one was probably just fine. But we replaced it anyway, so who cares? Stiff as hell. Exactly how it was before. Could have rebuilt this like a week ago if I knew that. And they're in. Cool beans. These lovely bolts right here for the retaining clips for the bearing. Add some orange Loctite. All right, so the torque spec is like 8.9 foot-pounds. All right, so I apparently lied. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the one for the transmission ones, but the crank ones are 16 foot-pounds, but the transmission ones are 8.9. As you can see here, we have crankshaft. Crankshaft go into hole. Crankshaft now have to get pressed into bearing. Crankshaft. This thing, then this goes this way, I believe. We'll go with that, sounds good. And we're going to place this nice little tool on there. Now, I mean, technically, if you didn't have this tool, you could put your engine case in the oven, freeze the crankshaft and go from there, hope it works, whatnot, but this is what we're doing. Nut goes on the end. There we go, that's better. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it like that, put a little bar underneath it, and then we'll go from there. I need a wrench. Several 16ths wrench. Now, when you're doing this, you wanna make sure that the rod stays in the middle. Nice, it's installed. Take all this nonsense off, make sure it spins. Yeah, cool beans. It's going to be doing that at about 8,000 RPM, so, or whatever these things rev up to, I don't even know. Time for the transmission. Easiest way to put this in, as in like one assembly, from my past experience, to try to put all the shift forks back exactly how they were when you took it out. That way you don't forget which orientation they go. And then easiest thing to do, reference point is this dark, disgusting looking piece. That's the piece that your sprocket goes on. So that obviously is going to go on the left side of the engine, so therefore you know which orientation it goes. But if you push the gears around, you can kind of get them all to mesh together. And then grab that whole assembly. Don't knock over the camera. Beautiful. Bingo bongo. Make sure it rotates smoothly. It'll stop at the very end. That's fine. As long as it spins freely. You can see that. Now I'm going to put in the shift drum. Temporarily, we can pull these up. Now once the shift drum's in, you should be able to just spin it. See? Now we're chilling McMillan. I don't know why I'm doing this as a tutorial. This is not a tutorial. I would think that it goes in this way. Next up is Yama Bond, but this one is in fact Honda Bond. The moment of truth. Alright, still spins, cool. Throw it back in. Ow. $77 foot-pounds with this bad Larry. Let's see if I get shot in the face with a penny. Alright, that was a struggle. So instead of leaving it on the table, I put it back in the bike, put the subframe bolt back in, or the swing arm bolt back in, as well as the bottom motor mount down there so I wouldn't torque in there. We have 77 foot-pounds, so it's a lot easier inside the bike. This one's 38 and the other one's 27. Might need a new clutch. time for the top end. Gasket's gone. Piston, we need that. Cylinder can wait, but cylinder is brand new. Piston, very nice. Which means that the arrow on the piston is going to face towards the rear of the motorcycle. Which means this is going to go on this way. All right, well, now it's like 9 years later. Finally got the first circlip in. So this means that we're probably going to lose the second. Install piston rings with the letter facing up. Rotate the ring end gaps and four-stroke pistons at least 20 millimeters of separation. All right, rings are on. Cool beans. Never forget it. Piston on. -1 circlip, and this is always the one that makes me want to shoot myself. I'm probably not even going to record it because it's probably going to take me until tomorrow to even do it. All right, it is now the next century, and now we're going to put the cylinder on. So that's cool. That's very nice. Now, for the hardest part, is putting the cylinder on and not jamming the rings and bending them. Or actually, maybe we should put a gasket on first. Oh, okay, cool. Cool beans. Make sure it rotates. All right, now that we're like 25,000 years past the last clip that we just made, it's now like 3 weeks later, 2 weeks, I don't even know anymore. But, all right, well, I'm going to take out the valve so I can clean the cylinder head. So let's do that. Lots of carbon buildup on the gasket surfaces and what, or not the gasket surface, but the valves and stuff. So I'm gonna clean that up a little bit with some Scotch-Brite. Time for the cylinder head to go on. First things first, of course, you'd like to wipe down the gasket surface. Then insert said gasket. I am not sure which way this goes. Alright, cylinder head bolts going in. Dusting on the bolt head. The more cleaner ones go inside, where the washer is already set inside the cylinder head. Is that the hole? No. Alright, well, it is now like day 27, and we can now officially start putting the top end together, which means camshafts and the valves, which everyone is usually scared of. Because we're already here, we might as well just put it all back together, remeasure it, and then adjust the valves while the engine's out. So that's what I'm going to do. This is typically where it gets to be a little bit challenging. Alrighty, let's put in our caps. Alright, so I'm reading that intake valve clearances when cold are supposed to be 0.12 to 0.19 millimeters. Alright, 0.09 gets through. Exhaust is 0.17 to 0.24. I would argue that both of them might be right at 0.18. Take our lovely magnet. We're gonna pop off our caps here. So that's all right. 1.9. Going back in. Now all we have to do is put the camshaft back in. So the valves are adjusted. Beautiful. Put our cap back on and we will remeasure. Now would be a good time to put the chain tensioner in. So let's do that. Goes down. Beautiful. Now would also be a perfect time to use our lovely spark plug and put that in there. I'm gonna plop it down there. Plop the socket down there. All right, so for what it's worth, spark plug is 9.6 foot-pounds. All right, so unfortunately I can't tighten this until it's back on the bike. So I guess for now, I will just slap it on. Ow. All right, we now have one of the best final touches. Finally, the valve cover. All right, it is now time to put said engine into dirt bike engine bay. Right after I change the battery for this camera, because once again, it's gonna die. Is this good? Starter going in. Okay, I don't have very high hopes. Technically, the battery is over 80% charged, according to my trickle charger. We'll try it again. Well, I think I'm gonna call that a night. It is now the next day. I just took off the valve cover, looked at the valve clearances again, looked at the timing, which I thought it was going to be that, to be honest, after the backfiring from yesterday. But absolutely nothing is incorrect. And then I kind of prematurely started it without the camera on, and now it starts. I don't know, man. I ain't complaining now. I got a dirt bike again. It's running. It runs good. Did I even say what the problem was before? You know what? I don't think I did. All right. So the issue that I had before was apparently, oh god, that's hot. Apparently, if you push this in, that acts as like a choke. But if it's out, that is normal. Now, unlike every other bike in the entirety of, you know, the universe, if you pull the choke out, that acts as the choke. Now, if you push it in, then normally the choke would be off. So this is odd to me. I'm not saying the throttle bodies even have chokes, but it acts as one. I don't know the whole like theory behind that whole thing, but that's what was going on for me. I think the idle was set a little too low or something. I don't know. But one day I just left it all on for the night, and then I came back and then it fired right up. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it. All right, well, I was kind of a dummy, and I'm going to have to explain stuff later. But pro tip for the gear jammer, this is a perfect little piece. The one that goes into little Phillips head. Jam it in there. It's perfect. But anyways, yeah, I actually got this thing running, and then I destroyed it because I forgot to wipe out the cylinder from the machining process that they did before. So, the piston and the cylinder were destroyed. But yeah, that's the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and eventually, you know, we'll be making some moto content again, so that's great. Yeah, see you later.